What's going on, guys? SW Cinematography here, and the nifty 50 of Micro Four Thirds as some people call it. Panasonic Lumix 25mm F1.7. It's one of the cheapest primes in the system, but how does it perform? That is the question. Let's put it on the camera and find out.
The silence fades into the night. Coyotes sing at the moonlight. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape.
So then, with the 12 to 60mm kit lens now replaced, let's take a look at the three things we care about. Number one, image quality. This lens produces nice vivid images, it has great contrast, it is far above the point of good enough for online video creation. I mean, you can see for yourself, it looks boss. We're just filming on a little G80 in natural colour profile. Vignetting is more than good enough again. 1.3 stops according to DxO Mark is very respectable, and it's not really a problem, especially for a lens is cheap. And here's where it shines, its main selling point. For its low price, you get a bright maximum aperture of f1.7. This gives you a creamy blown out background like you see here, and as a side effect it makes it a absolute budget low light champ. And as you can see, as I was talking about low light, here I am lit by my OnePlus 6 and a pair of fairy lights. So this thing lets in roughly 4 to 8 times more light than your standard kit lens, depending on how zoomed in it is. It lets in 2 to 3 stops more light, and that makes, as you can tell, an incredible difference to low light. So if you're wanting to film in the dark under street lighting conditions and you're on a budget, this lens is a perfect fit. So then, with that out of the way, on to point number 2, price to performance. Now, compared to the kit lens, Panasonic Autofocus, oh, it got it in the end. It's a huge upgrade in terms of low light performance and background to subject separation. It's one of the cheapest prime lenses of the system, and I think for that money you're getting a lot of glass for the price. Compared to the 20mm, the 20mm is indeed sharper if you're pixel peeping, if you're into that sort of stuff. However, it is more expensive at around £250 I think, compared to this, which is around 140, 150. And the depth of field isn't quite as shallow, and this gives a slightly more of a natural look. So really it's more of what you're after. One's slightly wider, this one's slightly more telly and shallower depth of field. Now, this lens is a great value in my opinion, and it's one of the best first lenses to purchase if you're on a budget. So then, on to point number 3, autofocus. Now, you've been seeing this the entire time. We're recording on a Lumix G80 and 1080p natural colour profile. It's a lot slower in 4K. If you're using autofocus, I would recommend using 1080p most of the time. It has minimal hunting, as you can probably see. However, it is slower than any phase detect system. It's what you have to deal with getting into the Micro Four Thirds system. It's usable for most situations, like you've seen. It's kept up with me this entire video for the most part, and it works on slow moving subjects. However, any fast paced action or something, it's not going to keep up. It's good enough though, it works. So then, in terms of some cons, it is plasticky, it does feel kind of cheap. However, for the price you can't really complain. It's fairly well built, it don't feel like it's going to fall apart on you. It's nice and compact, easy to carry. The manual focus, it is focused by wire, which makes it more difficult than a direct linked system. It takes some getting used to, it's not that nice. However, again, the autofocus is usable most of the time. And speaking of that, that's another con. Compared to phase detect systems, it really can't keep up. But you can't grumble, it's more than usable, honestly. At the end of the day, I recommend this lens. For what it costs, first lens, anything, it's incredible.